Well, I've been in Ukraine before. I was here already 2012 during the European Championships of soccer. And since then I've been here a couple of other times and I really enjoy it. The food is excellent, the people are very nice, and I feel very comfortable coming here. Thank you for asking. That's a very tricky question. Based on statistics, the type of implants they're using, definitely they predominantly use the 410, which is a challenging device but extremely rewarding. I've not seen any of the Ukrainian surgeons perform surgery, but I've had them in my hospital in Stockholm, Sweden. And the way they ask questions and the type of question tells me that they've got a high skill and are very eager to learn even more. The concept behind the 5 Ps is all about creating best outcomes for breast augmentation patients, short and long term. The 5 Ps is based on patient selection education, proportional thinking, planning, performance, and post-op care. And all of these different 5 Ps connect and create something that creates a better environment for plastic surgeons to make the right patient selection. There is no perfect implant for every patient, and there is no perfect implant for every doctor, like there is no perfect patient for every doctor. So the future is about being able to select the right patient for the right implant, and even admitting sometimes the best surgery is the one we don't do. So the main philosophy behind the 5 Ps is being able to establish best results for patients based on safety. I think running a private hospital or private clinic is about taking certain ethical, moral, and philosophic aspects in account. Being able to create a framework which is based on saying, I don't do this, creates an environment for your staff and for your patients, who you are, where you come from, or where you want to go. Basically telling them, oh, this is a doctor, he doesn't do everything. His philosophy is based on certain principles that applies to my principles. When a patient comes to me, she comes for one reason. She wants to look more beautiful. My responsibility is to be able to understand her desires and expectations, understand her intellectual capacity to comprehend and understand the discussion we're having, and to find the best treatment or operation in order to meet her desires. If I do this with the least risk of complications and reoperations, I create something which is the best foundation for short and long-term results. This is my passion. I love this. And for me, the most important thing is to create a relationship which gives the trust the patient expects and deserves, and not misuse it in any way, but to stay and be an ethical doctor. So in general, I shifted. I used to do a lot of axillary approach, blunt, and then I tried endoscopic, and I also used to do peroneal. Today my approach in general is through the IMF. The reason for that, in short, is I feel I have much better control over the pocket going through the IMF than, for instance, axillary approach. I have more control over the lower fold, which I think is crucial to create beautification of the breast. I decided to go through the IMF compared to the peroneal because I want as little contamination, bacterial contamination, which runs a high risk going through the peroneal. In general, I go submuscular. Why? Because firmer devices, cohesive devices, thin out tissue more likely over time. The preferred implant is the one that suits the patient the best. The implant I try to pick for the patient is the one that I think suits her best. Like I said, there is no perfect implant for every patient, and there is no perfect implant for every doctor. So if a patient needs an implant that shapes the breast due to the kind of tissue she has, for instance, low constricted pole or aplasia mum, and she has good tissue quality and good skin quality, I prefer to use so-called more cohesive gel implants, style 410. They enable me really to create magic sometimes. And with that implant, I can also correct severe asymmetries. Why? Because the 410 is part of a matrix with different heights, different projections, and different widths. So I can suddenly paint with different type of colors instead of just black and white. Having said this, there are patients that don't need so much shaping. They are more in the need of volumizing. If that's the case, maybe I'll choose a softer device with a round footprint that's round in order to create the kind of feel they desire. Some patients want more upper pole fullness, and in those cases I will choose an implant that has more fill in the upper pole, which more likely are more projected round implants. So I don't have a single implant. I don't think there's a perfect key to all locks. I think what we need to do is to be able to individualize and select the right product for the right patient. AMI is an amazing concept in the sense that it enables me and other key opinion leaders worldwide to travel around and share and teach. So I'm the chairman and responsible for AMI plastic surgery, which gives me the possibility to share my knowledge with doctors all over the world based on the principles of the 5 Ps. These can be standalone AMIs with me as a person, or they can be bigger AMI, Allergan Medical Institute events where we've got recon, we've got facial toxins, fillers, we've got different new devices which are incorporated in Allergan as a company. But the main objective is to raise the level of knowledge in order to create awareness, but at the end of the day, better safety for patients. And these can only be created through better outcomes through training. I think it's extremely important, whether one is speaking a different language than English, to read the scientific articles, the publications that are out there. I do believe there is a need for more education, in-depth, based on data. A lot what's being done and being said today is based on experience, and that's good. Empiric experience serves a purpose, but at the end of the day, there are certain principles that secure short and long-term predictability and safety based on scientific publications that are peer-reviewed, scrutinized, questioned, and if these give a message that enables a surgeon to do better and give their patient, their doctor's patients better outcomes, we need to follow them. We need to believe in them. I think it's arrogant of us to believe that sometimes our the way we do go ahead based on just our experience doesn't create limitations in our mind. So my advice, that's a long answer to your question, but my advice is read the latest science and develop your practice, and you will be more successful.